modern education only care of our brain, not heart, not warm-heartedness. Now, these days I describing the hygiene of physical, actually in our education field, hygiene of physical, their education about. Now, we need hygiene of emotion. Because now, very healthy body, too much emotion, not good. And eventually suicide come, isn't it? And sometimes teasing to ladies, is a beautiful face, but angry face, no longer any beauty, isn't it? So therefore, real beauty is inner beauty, not some kind of cosmetic way. Something that is very sort of superficial. So the real beauty is inner beauty. I have one story. Usually I'm mentioning sometimes. You see, in early 60, one monk official, say very, very trusted, wonderful, really devoted, dedicated sort of official. So after we reached India, then he disrobed. And I teased him, oh, your wife not so sort of attractive. I teased him. And his response is, external appearance not because of the attractive, but internal beauty is very good. So then I have no further argument with him. So now hygiene of emotion bring inner peace. The inner peace there, loving kindness there, the beautiful face automatically come. So therefore, now modern education very much oriented about a material value. Material value related with sensorial experiences, as I mentioned before. Animal also is the same experience. Now we have this intelligence. So therefore, our education should deal our intelligence or this deeper level of emotion. And that not based on religious faith, according Indian tradition, secular way. So, existing modern education should include education about our inner value. In that respect, these days, now I think these years, I sort of stressing. So, ancient Indian knowledge about our emotion and how to tackle this emotion, which I already mentioned, these things come from Indian tradition. Even before Buddha come, this country, they practice tradition of shamatha, a tradition of vipassana, already there. Buddha himself, product of that Indian tradition. Indian tradition, I think, over 3,000 years. So therefore, these ancient Indian tradition, I think not only ancient one, but very relevant to today's world. So now, there is no other country difficult, but this country, simply modern education plus ancient your knowledge about inner world, about mind, about emotion. Not consider as a part of religion, but consider as a part of academic subject. The healthy body plus healthy mind. So hygiene of physical, similarly hygiene of emotion. Now you have all these material over 1,000 years there. Now this must now combine with modern education, including science. Now scientists also now have a lot of agreement with ancient Indian thought. These days I sort of publicly mentioning the Western psychology, compare ancient Indian psychology, then modern psychology looks like kindergarten level. Very kasoda primary way. Go. Goma. Then Indian sort of psychology, highly developed. So these, and with that, 1,000-year-old ahimsa. Ahimsa is act of karuna. This country, over 3,000 years, the message of ahimsa, message of karuna there. With that, a secular concept, not imposing one's own faith on other. No. Complete freedom of religious freedom and respect to all religion. And I think today India is the really example. Different religious tradition can live together. That's really wonderful. Particularly at a time now, conflict in the name of religion, now they are very sad. In conflict Shia and Sunni, same Guru, as Muhammad, same Quran, but then fighting, killing. And Christian, even the Christian in Northern Ireland, I have been a few occasions there, Catholic, Protestant. See, they follow same Jesus Christ, same Bible, but you say like that. So these things, when we saw these things, then I really feel greatness of India's tradition, religious harmony. And the Sikhism. Here some Sikh, Sataji, oh yes, yeah. I really admire Guru Nanak. You see, I think, Hindu background, but took pilgrimage to Mecca. And in Sikhism, not much sort of say about what's the caste system. Wonderful. So, half joke, half teasing, this Sadaji looks very orthodox, but your tradition very liberal. So, India's sort of, I think, the education about how to tackle our emotion, how to tackle our mind, like shamatha, vipassana, these things, not only ancient one, but today's world, very much relevant. Now, strictly secular way, not context of religion. That's important. So I think India, I feel, can make certain contribution for world peace, dealing emotion. World peace will never carry by weapon, only peace of mind. In that matter, India's tradition dealing with destructive emotion and bring inner peace. Now that's the ultimate source of world peace. So now I think we human beings I think generally human being, I think fed up about violence. Look, Iraq crisis about to start, the demonstration against violence or war from Australia and Europe and up to America. Millions of people come out, express against war. So, I think I am one of the admirer of European Union, and through centuries, France and Germany killing each other, fighting war. But then, after Second World War, under the leadership of de Gaulle, under the leadership of Adenauer, they developed a European Union. Through hundreds of years, you see, enemy, but new circumstances, common interest is more important. So then eventually European Union developed. Look, India also. It's East India, South India, West India, North India. You see, different language, different script even. Some Tamil people say their language is better than Hindi. But doesn't matter. You see, people, different language, different script, but live Indian Union. Wonderful, really wonderful. I think 2 years ago in East India, because of Manipur somewhere, Manipur, on meeting with some media people, one asked me about the independence of Manipur. Then I mentioned India, over a billion population, the different places, different culture, different language, but common interest, common benefit, much better remain union. I mentioned that. So with this sort of belief, even you see our own case, Tibet cause, 7th century, 8th century, 9th century, according historian, Tibet, independent country, no question. 3 empire, Chinese empire, Tibetan empire, Mongol empire, very equal. But now, the 20th century and 21st century, I think other countries are now thinking union or common interest. So we also should think common interest. So therefore, around mid-70s, we decided not seeking separation or independence, remain within the People's Republic of China. Meantime, we should have the right to preserve our own culture, our own language, and particularly our sort of Buddhist tradition. It's really, now I realize Buddhism comes from India, but now I think genuine Buddhist sort of tradition we kept, non-Indian, we Tibetan kept all these Nalanda masters sort of taught. So now China, about 400 million Buddhists. Many Buddhists now really have this sort of recognition. Tibetan Buddhism is genuine Nalanda tradition, authentic Nalanda tradition. So number of Chinese now following or showing interest study Tibetan Buddhism. And some of them, in order to learn Tibetan Buddhism, they're also showing interest to learn Tibetan language. Like that. So, in a money matter, we can ask China, since we remain people from China, bring more money, more money, more money. That's their responsibility in economy field. You see, they are sort of also the responsibility, and they have the potential to help material development, constructions, all these things. The spiritual side, we can help them. Truly. And China, historically Buddhist country, the disciple of Indian tradition, truly. So therefore, you see, remain in union. I feel that. So therefore, now if I always telling the European Union, that kind of union eventually should develop in Africa, African Union. Then South American Union. If Africa too big, whole Africa Union, for the time being difficult, then you can, you see, Northern Africa, Southern Africa, or South, East and West, like that. Some kind of union, I think, very important to develop. Then these internal conflict, and within the country, some militant thinking. As through education, should develop broad-minded or common interest. Then these things, I think African states, they spend a lot of money for weapon creation. Weapons' responsibility is create killing, violence. Eventually, whole world should be demilitarized world. You see, any problem which due to human beings' sort of different views, different sort of interest, that is the source of violence or war. That cannot solve by weapon. Try to use force, then counter-violence automatically come. Then that violence control our physical, cannot control our mind. Only dialogue or respect their interest and try to solve the solution through mutually agreeable solution. That's the only way. So therefore, I describing this 21st century should be century of dialogue. Whenever some disagreement, potential of violence come, dialogue. So then, eventually, I think step by step. Firstly, I think a nuclear weapon should free nuclear weapon. Some time ago, you see, in Italy, a Nobel laureate meeting, I think 2 years ago, a meeting take place. I also there. Then I mentioned there, now we should have some kind of timetable. Within 2 years or 3-4 years, world should be free of nuclear weapon. Once we set up timetable, then worldwide movement to achieve that, then we can implement, just express world free nuclear weapon, just express that. This is not much sort of the effect. So I mentioned that, but nothing happened. So that's the first sort of step. Then gradually, also the offensive weapon should eliminate. Then you see, as a human society, some mischievous people always there. So maybe the mobile small force, wherever need, can shift. And then eventually, that also, you see, can be more as a multi-nations force like that. It's possible. So therefore, these are sort of visions. I think many of you, may agree So we need some kind of vision. We have this brain, have the ability to think or to create visions. Then, step by step, with patience, with determination, can achieve, not immediately. This achievement through prayer, I don't think achieve. We, at least I think 3,000 years, including Buddhists, more than 2,000 years, we pray to three Rannas, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. But sometimes we do not know what's Dharma. Dharma means action, motivation. So change comes through change our emotion, change our behavior, then we achieve Buddhahood, not just a prayer. So Buddham Shanam Gacchami, Dharmam Shanam Gacchami, Sangham Shanam Gacchami. Without knowing what is Dharma, then useless to say Dharmam Shanam Gacchami. We should know mainly Nirodha, cessation of suffering. Then the method to achieve that, these two things are genuine, real Dharma. That must develop here, not just a prayer. So I think several thousand years we human beings pray. I think not satisfied result come. So depend on our action. You see, sometimes you see like Shia brothers, sisters, and Sunni brothers, sisters. You see, both pray to Allah, 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 Allah. But then I think sometimes I jokingly, you see, telling some sort of people, oh, Allah may confuse the Shia side, pray to him, peace, or to win. The Sunni side also pray to Allah, and Allah, how to send His blessing to Shia side or the Sunni side. Difficult. So Christian and Muslim, some conflict. I think God difficult to send His blessing this side or that side. So truly, I believe, you see, if Buddha, Jesus Christ, Muhammad come and we ask, bring peace on this planet, then I think definitely Buddha and Jesus Christ and Muhammad certainly will say, who creates violence? Not by God, but we human being. So now human beings have the responsibility to bring peace. We create a lot of violence. Meantime, pray to God is illogical.